For our next story, we're here at the Gracie Barra Academy where they teach Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. I'm going to be showing a few moves, but first I need to get out of this and into something more appropriate. Whatcha! I'm in the gear and I'm ready to go.
Ready? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Professor Graham, you're the main man behind this whole establishment here. Tell me, how did you kickstart this whole franchise?
We got started, been doing martial arts a long time, growing up and stuff, but around the late 90s we began to hear, like most people, of the UFC, and in the early UFCs was dominated by a family called the Gracies, and a Hoist Gracie in particular. And like many people, when I watched the early UFCs and seen how easily he dominated all the other martial arts styles, I thought, this is something I have to learn. So we hunted about and we were very lucky. Sort of around 98, 99, a gentleman by the name of Mauricio Gomez came to the UK, and he was one of the elite of Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. His son Roger Gracie is the #1 Jiu-Jitsu competitor of all time, and we made links with them, and they supported us to start a Gracie Barra club here in Ireland, and we were actually the second club in the whole of the UK for BJJ, so we've a good heritage. We've been here a long time.
Kevin, you're one of the more well-advanced students. How long have you been training?
I've been training now for about 3 years or so. I started when the club was in a little nook over in the Valley Leisure Centre, and in a couple of years we've got here, and it's been brilliant. To be honest, I started off just for a wee bit of exercise and whatever, but once you get into it, it's very addictive. You know, it's hard to stop. So really enjoying it, and they're a great bunch of guys.
It looks quite methodical. You know, every move kind of looks like it's pre-planned. Is that the case?
Jiu-Jitsu is basically, it's been referred to as a game of human chess, rather than just diving in and fighting with each other. Every move has a counter move, and once you actually learn the system, it's a great art for thinking. Okay, your brain is the most active muscle you have when you're doing Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, that you can't just try and muscle your way out of stuff. You have to think a lot, and that makes it a little bit different than some of the other martial arts. First off, we're going to lock our guard.
Right.
Okay. Your hands forward like this. I'm going to come inside, hold your arm. Release my feet. Put a foot on your hip. Foot across the back and change my angle.
I'd describe it somewhere a cross between maybe judo and wrestling. It's a grappling-based game. A lot of our time spent on the ground. We're different from other martial arts in the fact that we don't mind being on our backs, you know.
Dawn, you may be the only girl here tonight on the mat, but you were giving the boys a run for their money. How did you end up getting involved in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu?
Well, I just knew someone who was going, so I came along and liked it. Took me a while to get into it, but after a few classes it kind of gets addictive. So.
And tell me a bit about, you know, the training. What do you have to do to compete?
To compete, just train as much as possible. The more time on the mats, the better you do, the more you remember. You need to know as much as you can, as often as you can. Just maybe it's a lot better now with the new classes. We get a lot more time to come down, and just if you're free, there's usually a class on, so it's great.
And congratulations again, you've just opened this new academy.
Yep, we've been working out of the Valley Leisure Centre. When we first started, we travelled around lots of different leisure centres around the province, but primarily in the Valley Leisure Centre over Newton Abbey. But we sort of outgrew it as our family grew bigger and bigger, the space that was available to us, and we decided that we would branch out and have a full-time dedicated school that we could help promote Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu in the north of Ireland. So we opened this in mid-October last year and have had great success since we came here.
And I believe you had a few local celebrities in trying to get some tips to help their game.
Well, actually, yes. This summer, the Ulster rugby team contacted us and asked if we could help with their pre-season training, and we took them for an 8-week pre-season session, 3 times a week, just giving them basic grappling tips and help work their conditioning up in a way that they've never done before. And quite a few of them actually loved the Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu and took to it quite well, so they did okay. But it was a very interesting experience for us. They were going against professional athletes of that size, and teaching them a bit of Jiu-Jitsu was great fun.
I'm really happy to say that this is finally the end of the show because I'm absolutely knackered after that. If you've got a story or an event you'd like us to cover, why not get in touch through our Facebook or Twitter, or check us out on irishtv.ie. I'll see you next week.